All right. Yo, are we getting right into it?
Yeah, let's go. So the first question that we're going to be discussing is how does Nietzsche's distinction between master morality and slave morality challenge conventional ideas of good and evil?
You want to start?
I can start. So I feel like it kind of like flips the script almost, and I feel like it kind of almost says that, especially with master morality, like good and evil is almost like a construction of humanity, and like with master morality, there really isn't evil, and it's just like good and inferior. And I think it's interesting with slave morality, who like I think slave morality is like the most widely like practiced, I guess you could say,
sure.
morality. I think it's interesting that slave morality, which like tries to be good, essentially like breeds evil instead of just inferiority, like he calls a more powerful evil. I think that's like pretty interesting as well.
Yeah. I think, of course, in recent times, which we'll discuss later, we've seen like a fall in slave morality, but I think it's very interesting about how this relates to other philosophers we've discussed as well, like Thrasymachus and his claim that justice is the will of the strong. And it really, what Nietzsche is saying is very accurate, because he's saying that master and slave morality, it derived from the rise of Christianity and monotheism. And these philosophers that were saying, oh, justice is the will of the strong, also rose during the rise of Christianity back in BC and as Christ was being born. I think I don't personally agree with it, but I think it's a very interesting way to look at it. Yeah.
You don't agree with like with the master morality or slave? Like, what do you mean? Like,
I think there is like kind of a good and bad morality. I don't think the master morality should be what we base the world on, and I don't think Nietzsche is essentially saying that that's what we need, but he's saying under religion that's what has happened and has happened until the past like couple hundred years, which relates to our next question. Do you think modern society still operates under slave morality? If so, in what ways?
I think yes and no. I think it's honestly fair to say that like the elites operate under master morality, and they kind of have this construct of slave morality almost to like control everyone else, really. Like I feel like you like everyone who's like really powerful, and we were kind of talking about this with political philosophy, how there's like tools to control how people live their lives. I think slave morality is like kind of one of those rules, like this idea of like selflessness and to like give out more than you're like taking in. I think that's honestly not that it's a bad thing. I think you should be like trying to live a good life, but I think it's
orchestrated by the master.
Definitely.
I think there's been a decline in slave morality in the basis of religion, but I don't think slave morality has gone away. I think it just evolved into something else. For example, I would take very rich people telling poor people, oh, if you work harder, you're going to get more money, and people will base their lives on working hard, getting money, and that is their main goal in life. I've met way too many people whose main goal after college is just to make a lot of money. Their main goal of going to college is to make a lot of money, not the education that comes with it. I think that's a way of slave morality, but it's just evolved from religion to kind of like maybe even the capitalism society that we live under right now.
I think that's like definitely fair to say. And I think kind of relating to that, like which stage between camel, lion, and child do we think most people are stuck on today? I feel like probably 99% of people would be stuck on like camel. Like I feel like, or actually I don't know. I think it's changing a little bit nowadays, but like I feel like in the past up until like now, you don't really see a lot of people like retaliating against like.
Yeah.
I think you see a lot of people like arguing like with people on like the same level as them, but like I don't think you really see people arguing against like the top, and I think like that's kind of changing now. So I think you can say more people are moving into line. But I like don't really see that many people
at child
like creating their own values like that like truly align with themselves instead of like falling into a system kind of.
I agree. I think it's mostly camels, but that's been all society, and I think the line has taken this way in different shapes. I think like politically, wherever you stand, there are people that are just like they just don't want to believe stuff. They'll just say no, which is essentially what the line does. They'll push away stuff. They'll push away things like on politics, kind of in rebellions of the system we live under, which isn't a very good thing. And I think it relates to another topic we have on passive nihilism and false solutions. But yeah, I definitely think we lack a lot of children right now.
Like really quick before we move on, I feel like even those people who say like no, I feel like even they could still kind of fall under camel because they're almost wired by like their not even their beliefs, the beliefs that have been like instilled in them. They're like wired to say no. So I feel like
then what draws the line between camel?
I think the line between like camel and line is like if you're saying no for your own reasons, not because of like beliefs that have been put onto you by like I don't know, it could be your parents, like your political party, like where you live. I think there's a lot of factors that do put on like beliefs, but I think if you like really evaluate like those beliefs and then like see what you don't agree with, like truly, I think that is like puts you more into like the line category.
Just a quick question about this. Like, what do you think? This is kind of what I see. I think the difference between a lion and a child in this kind of situation we're talking about is the lion will blame their struggles on a certain religion or race. Like they'll say, "Oh, it's the Jews," while a child will blame it on like maybe the people, like the very elite rich people that are constructing their life, stuff like that.
I think like if those values like truly resonate with the person, then I would say like yes, but I think it's all like
could be
it's all very very subjective. I think it's just dependent on the person.
That's true.
Like I don't think there's any such values that are gonna like be like universal. Like I mean some of them should be like from your point of view, like
that's true, because this is all relative,
but I think that a lot of it is still like subjective.
That's fair, yeah.
And then so like I think with passive nihilism and false solutions, I think like what's worse I would say is passive nihilism. If you're just like going through the motions, like not really, you don't have like a drive for anything. So I think with false solutions, like if you're replacing science with if you're replacing religion with science, I think that's like pretty common nowadays, and I don't think there's like necessarily anything wrong with that.
Well, I will agree with you on like I agree with passive nihilism. I'll just like play the other role of someone that would argue for false solutions. I think a main reason false solutions could be worse is that although passive nihilism, you're essentially impeding all progress and you're becoming just kind of like a flat line. False solutions could bring that flat line all the way down, because I think stuff like I don't think Jesus Christ would think the atomic bomb is something that should be created in this world, but we made it. And I think Nietzsche, if he was around for the Cold War, I believe he died before then, right? Or did he?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what Nietzsche's takes are, but I don't think he would be very fond of a atomic bomb out, I think he'd say that is a product of false illusions, and I think most people would argue that that is not a good thing because all it's designed to do is to end people's lives.
Yeah, that is true. That is fair to say.
But ultimately, I do agree. Passive nihilism. It's just there's no reason to just go flat.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to see development with passive nihilism. But like I don't know. I think like having a belief in science or politics or something, like having a drive, I think that is more beneficial.
I think it's more beneficial for the individual, but I guess it's kind of a game of luck when you see if it's better for society, because you could either develop something that saves people's lives or ends hundreds of thousands of people's lives.
And I think like back when Nietzsche was like developing this, I think times have definitely changed. Like science has definitely advanced further. So I think it could be like it's definitely different. Like his view versus our view of science. 100%. I think that is something to take into account.
Should we talk about eternal recurrence real quick?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
All right.
So when we talked about this the first time, this is something that like really like I think of all the lectures that we've done, like this one kind of stuck with me the most. Yeah. Like leaving the class, like thinking like would you if you think about your whole life, like would you live it over like for eternity? Like would all the pain be worth it? Would all like the good times be worth it? Like would you really live it all over again? And I think it's like I don't know, like you think about it and there's like my mind, it always just goes to like I would love to get out into like nature more and like I think I would be happy with my life, but like if I could change one thing, I would just like to like be outside more. Like I don't think I would be like truly in college right now, and I think that kind of falls under like I'm kind of just doing what society expects of me almost.
I agree.
Like I think there are like different things. Like I would love to like travel the world and stuff. And like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean I agree. I think it's. I think the idea of eternal recurrence is, for me at least, it's a good idea. It helps me live with less regrets. I can't fully say if I want to live my life over and over again at this point, but it definitely helps me do decisions that I know that I'm doing it for myself. But at the same time, there's always another side of the coin. It could lead people who might not really like their lives into hating it even more, into falling down a rabbit hole of like basically passive nihilism. And I've met a lot of people like that genuinely are nihilists, I think, because of the idea that their lives don't matter. Their lives like there's no value in their life. So I think it can help you, and I think it helps me, and I think it helps you, but it could also be pretty dangerous to some people as well.
Because like I agree, and I think like the other thing we talked about is like once you put yourself in a position, like now that we're in college, it's like really difficult to like switch out of that. I think it's kind of similar with like people who put themselves into passive nihilism. I think it's a little bit difficult for them to get out. And like you said, like now that we're in college, I'm not gonna say that we're stuck here, but like we are kind of
I agree.
I think like
I'm stuck here. I'll admit, like I'm kind of stuck here.
I think like the eternal recurrence test like does help, like you said, just like living your life to the best as you like truly can.
All right.
But
I think that was a good talk. Professor. Oh, we'll catch you.